You in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Talking Dicks, comedy podcast spinoff of the web series The Two Dicks. I'm Al Romas. I'm in Cozumel, Mexico today. This is a tough day for me. I'll explain why in a minute. That's Al Ducharme. He is in Studio City, California. This is volume 125, and we're kicking it old school. If you get on the patreon.com/the two dicks, you can see what we mean. This is how we started. Over a year ago. And how are you today, Alfredo? What's happening?
I'm just dandy. I'm very excited that it's the 125th volume or episode of the Talking Dicks comedy podcast, the spinoff from the web series, The Two Dicks. That's on YouTube. We've been intermittently putting up our videos of our podcasts on YouTube, but we noticed that there was a drop off in our Patreon members signing up because they had access to it. So we've made it once again exclusive only for our Patreon members. And you can listen to us everywhere else: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Pandora, and more. And
and I think the Wi-Fi is a little better. I've got some new Wi-Fi going, so hopefully that's a little better on the ship. I'm on the ship. If you didn't know, if you're not familiar with what's happening, I'm on the Adventure of the Seas, the only cruise ship I think sailing right now, maybe one other, but we're pretty much
right ahead
in Cozumel, Mexico. That would be news, no doubt about it. But here's the killer. Here's the fucking killer. I'm a mile or two from some beautiful, sexy Cuban cigars, and I cannot get off the ship.
At least counterfeit, but still,
I am not allowed. No, these are real. That's Casa del Habana is right down the road, my friend.
I've gone there with you.
That is the real deal. And yes, we have. And I can't get off the goddamn ship. I can see them.
That's criminal. That is just criminal.
It is criminal.
How are you doing with
that?
I
haven't received my mailings either. Haven't received my package yet from 5-6 weeks ago. So it's not easy.
He's never going to see it.
But
let's put it this way. He ordered it from they're imported from Dominican Republic and other places, Nicaragua. And they've been
coming from Pennsylvania.
Coming from Pennsylvania. So they're the distributor. Yeah. And now it's being shipped back out of the country. Is it going to be out of the country and meet you at a port, or is it going to be a U.S. port?
It was shipped to Florida. From Pennsylvania to Florida, then it's sat in a warehouse, and then it's going to be delivered to Freeport, Bahamas, where we will be on Friday. And supposedly, I know, it's not good. It's not good. It's a sad situation.
You see a couple of guys on the dock somewhere. Wow, these are on bid.com, and I got them for $0.
Cigar bid, but that'll work.
Cigar bid. It'd be more like this. I'm sorry, I was doing a cigarette.
Yeah,
because it looks like I'm
try to make it.
It looks like I'm blowing a chimpanzee if I do this.
Right. Yeah. There you go. That's for Patreon members right there. That's worth your $5 right there. Plus, it's old school. Look at us. Look at us being old school. It's beautiful.
Now, let me explain
like the old
what
days
Al means.
When we started.
Yes, when old school. You're onto it there. When we started our Talking Dicks podcast back in April of 2020. We were screwing around. So I had this set up here where he's on my big 52-inch screen in my living room, and I'm shooting it from my separate camera, but I'm plugged into the internet through my laptop over to the right here. We've got lights. I've got wires. I have Ethernet, and we're recording, and it makes it's a mother of a phenomena to edit. But that's how I was doing it.
It looks good.
I was doing it in the old days, just like this, but we added it up after about 7 months that I put in 100 hours of setting up and tearing down alone. And then I was spending 4 and 5 hours in editing. And now we have it all down to about 90 minutes. But man, holy shit.
Right. But the people, they wanted the old school look for volume 125. So we gave it to them. This is what the people want.
It is.
Give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
That's what the dicks are about.
A lot of people said what sets you guys apart on your videos, on your video podcast, is your setup. It's unusual. We haven't seen anything like it. And here it is. It's back.
So what we did when we heard that was we got rid of it and looked like everybody else. That was our thinking.
Well, it was the 100+ hours. So
yes, I understand. I understand. And speaking of, here's our thing with the Talking Dicks, the Two Dicks. We've had problems with the title. We've been through this many times. I sent you a thing earlier today. There's 3 guys, comedians, who do a podcast. They are crushing it. They're getting about $80,000 a month on Patreon. These guys, 3 guys, 80 grand a month. They have 19,000 followers on Patreon. They're called the Cum Boys.
I know.
CUM.
Is it
the Cum Boys?
On Cumtown? Is it Cumtown?
80 grand. The Two Dicks. The Two Dicks can't. We can't get on Amazon or Facebook or anything because we have problems. Talking Dicks, Two Dicks. The Cum Boys are crushing it. It's like, wait a second. Come on. We're at least, ours is a goof. These guys, the Cum Boys, CUM. Okay, very good. 80 grand a month for the Cum Boys.
Unbelievable.
You know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now,
and
is that
we
is
get
that,
the shit.
Is that
we get
the Cumtown podcast because they're huge as well?
I don't know.
C-U-M
It could be.
town.
I don't know. I just saw a video with one of the guys, who's a Greek guy, Stavros somebody, and then he was talking about his podcast, and I looked at it. Then I looked at his Patreon, and I'm like, holy God, $80,000 per month. This Stavros, whoever is, him and 2 other comics
over
in
$1
New York.
million a year.
So
Tim Dillon's making over $1 million a year on his podcast.
yeah, and we get people giving us shit about Talking Dicks.
Amazon. Did I tell you what happened? I didn't tell you what happened.
No.
Do you know that
No.
is it called Facebook jail, where they suspended my account for 24 hours?
You?
Yeah, it just ended a couple hours ago.
What did you do?
They gave me a warning.
Was it?
They said, hey, we found a post from April of 2020, over a year ago, that was questionable. That's strike 1, basically. So I did one of my silly posts, and a friend of mine commented, this is going to be out of context, but he commented basically, oh, give it to me hard. I was talking about putting my fingers. It's the first time I fingered a bowling ball in over a year, because there's a bowling alley down the street here.
I saw that joke.
Yes.
That was recent.
Yes,
right?
It was recent. So my college roommate says, hey, and the ball said to you, hey, give it to me hard. Strike me. Something like some sort of bowling verbiage. So I posted a picture.
I can see this
of a close-up of a guy with a gag ball in his mouth, just looking around, going with a gag ball. He's not naked.
Right.
He's got a shirt on. It's just like almost his head.
Right.
And you could see he's wearing a collared shirt, and his eyes dart around.
Yeah.
It's funny, right? It's funny, mildly funny. They suspended my account for 24 hours.
Yet the Cum Boys are making 80 grand a month.
80 grand a month.
The Cum Boys, CUM, are making 80 grand a month.
Well, they have all those kids they have to support.
It's
a teenage pregnancy joke. How old are these guys?
I was I don't know. Here's another thing. I just was on my mind here. I get a coffee every day here on the ship, and the barista is this Filipino kid who's a very nice guy, but no English. Doesn't speak the English. So I go, hey, cappuccino, and then that's where he makes the cappuccino, and I always go, thanks, man. So that's what I do. I just go, thanks, man. So this guy now, whenever he sees me throughout the ship and he thinks like whether that's my name or that's just all he has. Every time I go, I'll nod. He goes, I nod at him. He just goes, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
He's
trying to get it doesn't matter what's the situation. Thanks, man.
He wants to go to Hollywood.
Thanks,
he wants to fit in. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I go, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you're dating.
Speaking
you're
of,
dating now.
Well, I wouldn't call it dating. It's more like fucking.
Whoa!
And,
you're really giving
we listen to the
giving the Cum Boys a run for their money now.
I'm kicking it old school.
Oh wow!
I want Cum Boy money. Hey, speaking of that whole same thing, did you see Ned Beatty die?
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty.
I sat next to him a about 4 years ago in the waiting room to a doctor. We had the same doctor, the same surgeon.
Really?
I had hernia repair
Wow.
surgery. Maybe it was 5 years ago.
Mhm.
I had my hernia repair surgery, and he was sitting. This is before the mask, before the pandemic, but he did not look good. He looked like he was struggling. And so I didn't know if he was putting on the acting stuff or if it was the real McCoy, but didn't say a word to him. Just
Right.
all I did was I walked by when I went to the bathroom. I went down, 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 down.
Yeah. Drop them panties, boy. Do that to him. See what he see his reaction. That guy did 1 million roles, all great, but that's it. When he died, that was the first line of the obituary.
Right. From Deliverance.
Raped by a hillbilly. Raped by a hillbilly.
And now he's dead.
And that was his first movie.
He was a stage actor. He did some regional and summer stock, a lot of that stage stuff.
Yeah, he was great.
Somebody saw him.
Great.
I think it was John Borman saw him in a play and said, John Borman was the director of the Deliverance.
Yes, he was.
And he said, I want you to read for this role. And he was supposed to read for one of the other guys. And he said, no, I'm going to have you get raped. And
right. Well,
great actor and character actor, but that was the role that Brooke, he had a 50-year career because of that role.
Yeah, they had a lunch. I was reading his obit, and they had him and Borman's wife had a lunch talking about the movie, and Ned hit on Borman's wife relentlessly through the lunch, just kept hitting on her, and Borman goes, "You are a total asshole, and you're going to play that part, the guy Bobby who gets raped."
Oh, really?
Because he was reading for the other part. Yeah, he goes, "You're a complete asshole, and you're going to get your Bobby."
Was Borman's wife a famous actress or a model or something?
No.
Was she like 25 years younger than him?
You can imagine, I guess.
Are you saying
I'm sure she wasn't some hag and he was hitting on her,
So you're saying Ned had game? He was a ladies' man?
Well, this is back in the 70s too. So you can't picture Ned, 2020, picture Ned 75, but I guess he thought he was and tried. He was an asshole and he got the part. That was his first movie. And it doesn't matter what he does from then on. You're still the guy who got raped by the hillbilly.
Right.
And, but he was great. He was great. I remember him on MASH. He did a MASH episode even, for God's sake. He was, what's his name? The chaplain. I can't think. What's his name? The chaplain on MASH. Mulcahy. He was Father Mulcahy's boss. He came into the MASH one episode and had a funny line where he gave some order. And then he said, "I'm going back to my tent now. I'm going to drink milk of magnesia and do 3 push-ups." That was his regimen.
That's to thwart off the boner and masturbating. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah. Some guy on Twitter had a thing for Ned Beatty, and then he wrote, "I'm going back to my tent to drink milk of magnesia," and then I put under it and do 3 push-ups. And the guy went, "Whoa, excellent." Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry to lose him. He was great.
Yes. I enjoyed his performances in all of his movies. He's one of these guys who did like 50 or 60 films, right?
Oh yeah. People were retweeting the little scene from Network. He was there in Network, and I was reading about it. He was on set for one day. It was just one day, came in, stole the movie, and fucking left. I think he was nominated for an Oscar, and it's like 5 minutes.
I think you're
scene,
right.
But it's phenomenal where he's yelling at Beale. Yeah. Great.
Pretty cool.
Great actor.
We will miss him and his work. So we're celebrating 125th volume, and we're also celebrating the career and life of Ned Beatty. Anybody else?
No, but we should get some picks in the U.S. Open. Golf starts tomorrow, the last major in golf of 2021. So let's, because our next pod will be the following Monday, and we'll have a winner by then. So let's pick a winner of the 2021. I mean, I'd love to see Mickelson, but that seems unlikely.
No, he was,
but that would
he was lucky.
That would be massive.
That would make the Tom Brady category. Think about that. You know what I mean?
I think that'd be bigger than any. I think it'd be bigger than all of them. I mean, at 50, almost 51, and to win back-to-back majors, and he's never won the Open. That's the only one he's missing.
43 years old in the NFL is like 60.
Oh yeah. Well, the Brady thing is
What I'm saying is leaving the
I think that's
Patriots
its own.
on a Super Bowl win and then coming into Tampa and winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's come on.
And did you see?
I'm just saying it
the next morning.
I'm just saying Mickelson would be right up there. It'd be that crazy.
Yeah. You see, the next morning, the day after the Super Bowl, Brady texted the quarterback coach at like 8 a.m. and was saying, "I think we left a lot of points on the board this year, and we really could be a lot better next year." And the guy was like, "Fuck, dude! It's the day after the Super Bowl. It's 8 a.m. It's like this guy's out because he was on I was listening to a pod. He was on a guy. He's like, this guy's different level shit, man. That's weird, fucking different level."
After Tom Brady threw up from all the tequila, because that was in the afternoon. This is before,
right before. Yeah, right before the parade, the boat parade. Right. This is in the
morning.
Okay,
it was okay. So he didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't do it yet. I thought okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So who do you like? You got a name? Got anybody you thinking of for the?
I don't, but it's the usual suspects, right? Dustin.
You guess? I mean, you got to. Yeah.
Dustin Johnson.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm thinking the guy Jon Rahm, because that guy was winning 2 weeks ago. Then he got the COVID positive test. He had a bail. But he's always right there, and he seems due. So
he didn't do the vaccine.
My pick will be. I don't know if he did the vaccine and it wasn't enough time, or if he didn't do it, or if he did it and it's still positive, but he didn't have really. You know what I mean? Like you can still test positive with the vaccine.
Well, it depends on what vaccine you get.
Positive with
there's different things, different side effects from like the J&J. They say people. 90% chance you're going to lose your bowel controls at any time, just in the middle of anything.
Is that what happens?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Wow. All right.
Well, which one did you get?
That's something to look forward to. I got the J&J.
Dynamite, JJ.
Oh, that poor bastard. Yeah.
Jimmy.
Do you ever work with him?
I have.
Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy Walker. I worked with him many times. He's called me out of the blue.
Nice guy.
And he hosted my Live at Gotham show. He was the host, the celebrity host. When they have Jimmy and me on the same one, and he's the celebrity host, there's just a few more to record, a few more shows to shoot.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I was doing some self-deprecating and slamming Jimmy a little bit, but Jimmy was superb, Mr. Showman.
Oh, he's a good guy, and he knows exactly. I mean, he has the best stories, and he knows exactly where he stands in the history of it all. And when he does a comedy show, he's the MC, and he's not gonna. He knows he's cool about it. He has no ego that way. He gets it. He's just working. He just wants to work. That's all he cares about.
And when I occasionally see,
which is amazing.
Yes, and when I do occasionally see him, because he lives in Vegas, he goes, "Al Ducharme, how is Bernadette?" Mm-hmm. That's what he says. Because we've worked, all three of us worked together. Spot on. Yeah.
Spot on Jimmy Walker impression, pulling it out for the special volume 125.
I love that guy.
Who knew we were going to get it?
I love him.
No, he's great. And he's been a stand-up comic working since 1970. What, 3, 4?
Yeah. He's
50
years.
And he's still out there.
50 years.
He'll be at some shithole.
He's been doing stand-up comedy.
I mean, he doesn't care.
Since he was a teenager.
Yeah, and he'll work anywhere. I've seen him in Florida at some a gig I won't take. I'm like, fuck that. I wouldn't work there. And it's like Jimmy Walker tonight. I'm like, okay.
You know what? It's
just
in his
so
blood.
Good for him.
His home is paid for. He's in Vegas. He works a lot in Vegas, so he's got to switch it up and go on the road. So when he comes back to Vegas, people say, "Hey, we haven't seen you in a few months," and he keeps his price.
Yeah.
If you're available all the time, that's not good for your price point.
No, it's like when you're starting out. Remember, you have to lie sometimes. Go, are you available next weekend? And even though you are,
I'm still doing that.
No, I'm not.
I'm still doing that.
Because are you? You still tell people?
I'm still doing it.
I'm not available.
Wow.
I'm not available.
I sometimes I do this one. I'll share with you. I'll share one of my secrets. I'm like, let me see. What is that? That's 2 months out. Oh, I'd love to do your gig. What does it pay? Let me do me a favor. This thing is penciled in right now. Let me call to confirm, but also mention that I have another offer. I'm not canceling, but do I have any wiggle room? And don't worry about it if you can't find anybody. I'll still honor your date.
Mhm.
9 out of 10 times they go, yeah, all right, I'll get you. I got someone.
I would have hung up during that whole time. I couldn't follow one word of what you just said, and I would have hung up. It was just a lot of, I don't know what you're talking about. Things are penciled in. You might do it. You might not. Just, I'm out. I'd hang up. Sorry. That's and you didn't pick a winner of the U.S. Open, you son of a bitch. You didn't answer the question.
I said Dustin. Is he even in contention right now?
Well, that's who you're going with. Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson.
Only because I want to bang his wife, the great one's daughter.
I don't even think they're married. He's such a dope. I don't think they're married yet.
No, I said the great.
I think they're engaged.
I said the great one's daughter.
Yeah, but he hasn't married her, is what I'm saying. They're not married. He should marry her. God, but I don't think they are officially married.
Well, she's still texting me.
I could be wrong. She's
still texting.
I'm
me.
going with Jon Rahm.
I think she's
Jon Rahm.
I heard you, Jon Rahm. I think she's texting me to get to Bernie. I think she likes the carpet.
Well, I don't think any of that's true, but all right. You say so. I think that was just I don't believe any of that, but I'd love to believe it. You know what? Let's make that true. That's a good one.
Okay.
I like
we have our
idea
picks. What else do we want to cover before we shove off?
Well, I think that was pretty much it. 125 old school. Join the patreon.com/the2dicks. Check it out.
Follow us on Instagram at 2dicks2.
You don't need them.
2dicks2 and on
2dicks2 and on Instagram.
On Twitter, what do we have? The 2 Dicks.
I think we're Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast on Twitter, I believe. You
changed our name again.
Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast.
You didn't mention anything during the meeting.
I might have. During the Zoom meeting.
Wow. Come boys, the Come Boys.
They're killing it. 80,000 a month for the. I see. This is what blows my mind because we're in this business supposedly. I don't know if we really are or not, but we seem to be. And here's 3 guys that nobody knows, like people like us. We don't even know who they are. 80 grand a month. People would be like, some guy working a real job and shit would be like, what do you mean 80? Yeah, they make 80 grand a month. The Come Boys.
I'd work 3 months and then I'd retire.
in
this environment, in the pandemic unemployment environment. But actually, this weekend, as a matter of fact, tonight and tomorrow night, because by the time you hear this,
what's happening?
I'm going to be at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club Thursday through Saturday. You already missed Thursday.
Oh,
and then I'm going to be up in Paso Robles performing at the Bernie. What's the name of the winery we're at next week? All right, I have to look it up. Winery in Paso Robles, and we're going to be with Tom and Stephanie Clark.
And she wanted to be our producer.
And Bernadette Pauly. And then I go to Vegas for 2 nights, July 2nd and 3rd, and I will be the opening act for Mr. Bill Burr at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas.
Wow, look at you with a schedule.
And Al will be on a ship.
Dates. I'm working tomorrow night and Friday night, and then I don't know. I'll be here. I'll be here for about another 4 months. I'm done almost 2 months.
All hands!
I want my cigars.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/the2dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary.
Go to patreon.com/the2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.